Hello, I would like to inform you that what you're about to listen to are our views and comments from the hosts and guests that only reflect their own view and not the community's as a whole. You're also committing to hire us at some point in the future, whether or not you want to or you like our work. I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hello everybody, this is the Ed Talks About podcast, a weekly podcast talking about cosplay, Comic-Con and everything else, which is also the UK's #1 cosplay podcast! Woo! Unofficially. So, what do I do at this point? We talk about the title. So, the title of this podcast, what we are talking about is, I've called it this week, let's take that photo over there. And here actually, but, no, should I put it there? Anyway. I'll sort out the title later. Joining us on the podcast is Libra Lee of Libra Lee 7. Do you go by Libra Lee or just Libra?
I go by Libra Lee 7. I go by all of it.
Oh, fair enough then. But I'll call you Libra.
Okay.
And Chapman of VHS Photography. Sorry, LPC Photography. Welcome to you both.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, I'm still peddling that really bad joke that you are called VHS or VCD or LD, DVD, Blu-ray. Was it Blu-ray or BR?
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. I bet Libra's sitting there going, what the fuck are these two talking about?
I mean, I know what a VHS is.
Wow, I feel old.
Do you know what? I feel like you should just have this pre-recorded. An explanation of what it means.
Oh, I thought you meant the intro bit. The intro,
No.
I used to record that intro bit for like the first 10 episodes or 20 episodes. But after a while, I just thought, do you know what? It's not the hardest thing to say when I first started. But since each time, every 20, 50 odd episodes, I seem to change it or add more to it. So I'm sure it just used to say a weekly podcast about cosplay. Then it evolved to weekly podcasts about cosplay, Comic-Con and everything else. And now I've, for some stupid reason, I've added the caveat of UK's #1 cosplay podcast in brackets unofficially. So that's all on me. But yes, you were saying the explanation of, well, I like to think that we found what podcast number are we up to? 212, 213? I would like to think by now, if you've listened to all 213, you know what the joke is. If you don't, that's on you. You backtrack and find out why we call you what we call you. Okay? Anyway. What do I usually do? Sorry. Also, whilst I remember, okay? Just got to do some housekeeping here first. Right. 1, I haven't been podcasting for a month for good reasons. 1.1, I've been on holiday. 1.2, I needed time away from things. 1.3, I need to finish editing stuff. 1.4 on the agenda. Is there agenda?
What's this patch notes?
Yeah.
Patch notes. I find Fantasy 14 with your patch notes.
Hey, at least my patch updates come on time and it's fully ready to go. Unlike, when you release a game, it's, you have to wait for a 200 gigabyte download just to get the game running on day one. Anyway, as I was saying, 1.4, I just needed a break from things. I think, again, burnout and all that. But no, generally, I went to VeeamCon and I kind of needed time and prep to do that. And I didn't know if I had time to, prepare for all of that and things like that. Oh, do you guys want to come to VeeamCon next year? Anyway, that's cool.
No.
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Cool. What was I going to say next? And point number 2 on the agenda. Just want to thank to CJ and Charlotte for doing. I don't know if they called it not Ed Talks About podcast for me, but they substituted in for me and recorded 2 fantastic cosplay podcast episodes for me. I think one was about content creation at a higher level, how to get sponsorship and things like that. I could be wrong. I did start listening to it, and like anything about life stuff, I just got distracted. And Charlotte was talking about how to take photos, but a storytelling level, things like that. So I hope you people who listen to my podcast enjoy that. And then last week I outputted a podcast extra about Your Lie in April, how much I like that show. So anyway, I just want to say, put that note out there as Libra was calling me out for. Thank you.
Yeah. I enjoy doing it.
Yes, you do. Everyone seems to enjoy ripping me to pieces, as always.
Hey, you love the band, though.
Do I?
I don't know. If you cry in the corner, then we all know that you're fragile.
Hey, I cry in the shower every day. All right? Just get it all out of my
And
system.
then having the song All By Myself playing.
All by myself, don't wanna be. I got to listen back to that, and it's going to be horrendous. Anywho, right. So, what do I do at this juncture? I usually say, let's just do a catch up, welfare check, and all that. Hey, Libra, how are you? How's the last? Well, not say the last 7 days, but just how are you in general?
Health is not great.
Oh.
I've been suffering with an ear infection for more than 5 weeks.
Does it affect your balance?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Does that mean I could just push you and you just fall over?
Not quite.
Oh.
You could have done like 3 weeks ago.
I don't know why. If we were like, not suggesting we're going out with each other, but if we lived in the same house, I would just push you at every opportunity. I don't know why. That would be the child in me doing that to you. I don't know why.
I would put washing powder, grind it up in your sandwich if you did that.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't eat sandwiches.
So I'll put in some other stuff that you eat.
Okay.
Fair is fair.
Yeah, at least I have a clean mouth.
True. But other than that, it's all good.
It's all good. Okay.
Yeah.
We were just talking off air, and I hadn't forgotten that we booked this. You're going somewhere, if that's all right for talk about.
Yeah, so I'm off to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth concert on the 28th of September. And I will be cosplaying Tifa. And my wonderful friend is being my cosplay duo as Aerith, which Eddie has kindly agreed
What?
to do the photo shoot for us.
Whoa, no, what?
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 Genuinely, we had booked this, and I forgot to put it in my diary. She just reminded me about it. And I went, fuck, shit, no, fuck. And I half double booked myself, but it will work out in the end. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's always good to do more content for my. Yeah, I've got there.
You'll hate the other plan I have for you.
What?
Doing a whole Warrior of Light group. There's only 4 of us.
You do know my new policies, right?
No.
I don't do groups anymore.
What?
Yeah, I get stressed out.
Aww.
I will do duos, but I can't do groups.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Chapman, do you get stressed out doing group shoots?
Nope. You should know that I used to run the League of Legends cosplay group and the Overwatch groups. Like we had 200 people at one point.
That's what I've met you for.
Oh yeah, I'm that loud Asian. Yes.
Yes, I did a Carly one year, and I've done Mercy and Diva at one stage. That's where I know you from.
Sorry, just to explain, these two say they've not met each other, but clearly they have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just said I don't remember. I never said I haven't.
No, very true, very true. If you've done your realization now, Libra, I'm going to move on to Chapman.
Yes.
Good, thank you. Chapman, how are you? How are you in general?
I'm good. Super tired. Like,
yeah.
Well, I think since our last talk, I got a new job, and that has just been a lot of work.
I can imagine. We won't say locations or things like that, but the travel you do can people don't understand who don't drive or don't take public transport. They don't realize how exhausting that can be, because I take the underground and it takes me an hour each time to get from where I am to central London. So if you're trying to locate me, I'm in that 1 hour ring. It can be really exhausting, and I can only imagine for you, Chapman.
Yeah, which is kind of funny, because it takes an hour to travel inside London, and it also takes at least an hour to travel into London from outside London.
Yep. No, I know. Because there was a thought in my head that if I had to move out of London, move back with my folks in the East Anglia area, I was like, could I still keep my job and travel in? And I think I worked out it would be almost a 2-hour journey myself. So, because I have to take from where I am, from where they are, to central London, which is London Liverpool Street, which is, I think, it's just about an hour journey if there's no issues, and then half an hour on the underground. So, yeah, that would be fun. Not, but anyway. Anyway, sorry. This is not exciting talk. This is not about cosplay. It's not about Comic Cons or anything else. Well, it does kind of under the anything. Anyway, if anyone wants to ask me if I was doing all right. Nope. Okay, let's move on.
How's life, Eddie?
No, generally we don't have to check in with me, but brutally honest, I'm doing okay. But the tagline underneath the subtitle is "I'm struggling, but I'm not failing." So I am doing okay, but I'm, like I said, I've not seen nothing's. It's it's not all rosy and green and everything else. I'm struggling for a few things, but I'm not failing. That's the positive thing I'm going to say about that. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, this is life. Like, look, this is what I said to someone. I said, everyone plays the game of life on hard mode. No one had a choice in that. And, we're just getting through it as best as we can. There's no cheat code. We just got to get through it. So that's it. So, yeah, there's no reason to moan or complain about it that often.
Do you know what you need?
What?
You need to go offline for a few days.
Right. That's what I tried to do last month. And that both helped and didn't help at the same time. My brain, fire. I swear I'm discovering more and more that I might be ADHD, okay? And I swear my brain needs to be occupied all the time. I can't sit still and not do nothing. So when people say I go on, I'm going on holiday. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Portugal on a beach just to read a book. That sounds absolutely boring to me. I can't imagine being in a hot country because I sweat a lot. I can't imagine being on sand because it's itchy. I can't imagine just sitting still reading a book. Sounds boring. I'm not engaged. Yeah, I just those elements just I had to be going around the city, maybe taking photos, or just going to do something, like go to a bar, go to see an event, comedian, something like that. I couldn't do that. Do you do we will get back to the main topic later, but can you sit on a beach and do nothing? Because I can't.
Yes, it's called sleeping.
Yeah, see, no, if I'm going to sleep, I'll sleep in my bed where it's nice and cool. I can shut the windows and curtains and all that. Libra, what about yourself? Could you just sit on a beach and do nothing?
No, I actually have to do stuff because I go to a country and I'm like, I'm not going to sit on a beach. I actually want to go and experience the culture and the food and all the cool stuff they do.
And I'm sure those people who sit on the beach do still do the culture thing and all that, but when they make it like sitting on the beach is the main thing, not the culture. I'm like, no. Anywho, as I'll say, let's get onto the topic. Let's go. We've done our introduction. We've done this. We've done that. Health check and all that. I always believe it's nice to just check on someone. Always ask how's things. That's why I do this health check. Anyway, as I was saying. So I think this came off the back of Charlotte's podcast per se about they were talking about storytelling and how to take a photo and things like that. And I thought, I wonder if because this came up in a I think so. My photos have been started to be uploaded to social media now, and I think some people have mentioned, "Oh, Ed, you really get some good locations for these photos." And I've always said, find the location that suits the cosplay, not the other way around. And I wonder if there's a whole podcast. This may only last half an hour. This may be we're 15 minutes in. This may last another 15 minutes, but we'll go. But we'll see. I've got obviously Chapman, who's a photographer. Yeah, have I got that right? Yep, good. And we've got Libra, who's a cosplayer. I've got that right?
Yes.
Good, right. Glad you confirmed. And I want to know how important it is to you a good location to take photos, both at Comic-Con, location shoot, maybe taking some self photos at home, maybe in your garden. Does the idea of where you're shooting is as important as I find it important. And I know it is important, but I mean, but like, oh no, I've got to mention it now, don't I? And I said I was gonna mention it ever again.
The grey walls.
Yeah.
Oh, we know you love the Grey Walls.
Oh, I love it. One of these days, that I think someone will put a joke plaque that says "In memory of Eddie." One, I'm still alive. Two, for me to see that I will rage so hard, and that is not, and I repeat, not a challenge for anyone to put that plaque up just to wind me up.
Just
I
put a
will rage.
picture of wanted Eddie next to the grey wall.
Fine, I'm happy with that one.
Okay.
I'm happy with that. I just don't want people to think, one, I'm dead, and two, I want it to be my memorial, my memoirs to be remembered by the Grey Walls. Anyway, as I was saying, so let's get into it. So, Chapman, as a photographer, do you? So let's put it this way. So you're at a new venue, okay? You're at a new venue. You've never been to this either this location before at a Comic Con. So we'll keep it Comic Con first, okay? At a Comic Con, do you just say scout the area, or and when you ask if you are scouting the area, what are you looking for?
Yes, I scout the area. Actually, that's one of the first things I do. I don't even check out the vendors or whatever, because my goal is to see where will be best for photos. I don't have a kind of a concrete plan. I just go, "Ooh, that's good for industry looking. Ooh, that's good for fantasy." And that's how I keep track of what I want to see or where I would use. Because it's more of what is the most common, or I would say flavor of the month, cosplay of the month. You would say that?
Flavor of the month, cosplay of the month.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get what
something
you're
like
saying.
that. So like
Yeah,
if
the
so,
popular cosplay, the thing, the in
yeah,
thing. Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll find something that suits that because I know 99% of the time people just got to ask me, "Hey, can you shoot me?" And it's going to be the whatever it is, like for example, Genshin for the longest time.
Mm.
So that's why I will scout locations indefinitely, and then just kind of like keep it as a backlog of what it suits or what themes it suits, rather than looking for a specific type of location.
Oh, that's good. That's fine. You're not gonna like you're. Sorry, again, I don't want to pin on this, and again, to the other photographers, what I'm about to say, I'm not trying to attack you or anything like that. But you're not looking for a spot to like set up your shoots and all that. You're in your head. You're mapping the area so you know when you bump into someone, you go, I know where to take you. Let's go somewhere. Is that what I'm guessing at?
Yes, that is it. I'll be
Mm,
honest, I don't like setting up for an area and staying there for a long time
mm,
unless there's a very good reason. So, for example, at at MCM, when go to MCM, I normally have to set up in a certain area for some time, maybe because it's so packed that I can't find anywhere else to go.
mm.
But if it wasn't as packed and okay, people are gonna hate me for this, but if every single tog stopped bringing full studio setups, I think I wouldn't just park myself in one corner and shoot there,
Mm.
because I would then be able to go and shoot anywhere I want rather than stick there. I mean, I understand some togs just like that area, like they love the Grey Wall and they would never change the fact they love the Grey Wall.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Good on them.
But
Yep.
I can't do that. Like
Mm,
I don't want to see all the same things on the Grey Wall. There's no different than, oh, let's just go to a studio with nothing else,
mm.
or let's just shoot in this corner that everyone shoots at.
Yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Um, I'll talk about my method and my reasoning behind something, but Libra, as a cosplayer, do you scout the area, or because you're a cosplayer, do you like kind of rely on us photographers to kind of like do that homework for you?
No, I normally like if I've got like fantasy, then I'll try and find somewhere at the convention that fits that. Or like if I'm doing something like say cyberpunky, I'd fit that into like say like the MCM car park and use
Mm,
that or areas around it. I normally try and go, this is the character, this is like the game they're setting in. Can I find something similar? If not, I'll say to like a photographer, guys, this is the cosplay I like. This is the world they live in. can we find something similar or close to, and do it as like a collab? Because I fucking hate those grey walls. Honestly, worst thing ever.
We'll talk about those grey because there's one question I'd like to ask you, but I don't know if one I've asked you before or two if it's a redundant question. But anyway, things like that. So why would you scout the area? Why wouldn't you shall I say, rely on the photographer to like say,
sometimes they're like stuck in like a spot, and I'm just like, this doesn't suit the character. Can we move? And sometimes photographers are like, no, I'm not moving. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to work with you because you just want that one image that I see everywhere where it doesn't suit the character, and you can tell it doesn't suit the character. So
it is important to you about where and the background that suits. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it feels more like you connect more with the character that way. Because if you're stuck with a grey wall, you just can't connect. Like, Yuna is very much grass, like, and all that kind of stuff. And obviously we used the walkway that we'd used. Like, it fitted some of the areas of 10. Because if I go, oh yeah, go against grey wall, it feels like a disconnect.
Yeah.
Like, they're not, like, the photographers are like, yeah, I'm just going to stick against grey wall. And you're like, this is not what I asked for.
No, but some people might argue that because there's no distraction in the background, the whole photo focuses on you and you alone.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want that aesthetic?
Because I find it really dull.
Yeah, no,
that's
fine.
Literally I find it dull and boring, and I will not paste it.
No, that's fine. And I'm trying to be balanced. I'm trying to be like open-minded about this, and I'm sure that's what some people will say. And again, this whole podcast is not about attacking those photographers who shoot at the grey walls.
Like, I will admit, some people that do use the grey wall, then they like completely remove it, and then they'll just put a backdrop in that suits the character that can work really well. But then you can see some of them, and you're just like, yeah, that doesn't quite fit.
I keep hearing that, and yet I don't see any evidence that is happening. So I like how people will defend it in that way. Great, but for me,
I've never seen it.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that.
I love the fact that the grey wall is so popular, people double team it.
Yes, I know the photographers that do that.
If people don't know what we're talking about, there are some people that rotate the use of the same single grey wall, like clockwork, and it's quite interesting to see. Like, you all share the same setup, you all share the same poses. Well, you're asking the cosplayers to do the same poses. So what's the difference? Why are you asking for these photos or the same photos from every photographer? Or why is every photographer taking the same photos? Like, there's no originality.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started.
I agree with that, I will admit.
I've seen that double teaming, and look, I have my theories, and I'm not like I said, I don't totally dismiss the idea. Like I said, it's a very controlled environment. It's something that you can just repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse. You don't have to do much thinking and all that. And if you're trying to get through a lot of people and don't want to do much editing, that's actually quite a good way of doing it. The way I do it, obviously, is finding different spots and all that. It adds more time to the editing process, not just the shooting process, but the editing as well. Because sometimes, like it was in May, fuck that sun. I hate that sun. Jesus Christ. I can't remember a time where the sun was that bright, that harsh, and then cloudy every millisecond of the day. Like 1 second it was fine, the next millisecond it wasn't. Like, god damn it. Anyway. And I'm saying, I'm trying to be balanced. I'm trying to be understanding. Walt Whitman, be curious, not judgmental, and all that. So yeah, I get it. I can understand why people use the grey walls and things like that. My reasoning. Sorry, I'm going to go back to me now. This is all about me. Similar to Chapman, I obviously scout an area and just look for places and things like that. But the other reason I do it, it's because I want to try to find an area which another photographer will just dismiss it, just look at it and go, can't do anything about that. I kind of want to kind of like challenge myself, push my limits, and see, can I make this area look good? Can I make this area work for certain cosplays and things like that? And just have it in the back of my mind and things like that. And also, Libra, you'll back me up when I say this question. I always say to you, if especially like during the middle of the Comic Con day, I'll ask the question, where have you shot photos?
Yeah.
And when I get the answer, I've shot here, shot there, in my brain it's like, strike that off, strike that off. Don't need to go in those. There's no point of me shooting photos in an area someone else has already got photos. My brain will tell me I can't compete or won't want to compete with another photographer's style, because that gives them two photos of the similar location where they have to decide this photo or that photo. Probably most likely mine will lose out. So I don't need that on my conscience. I don't want that. I know this sounds very what's the word? Not selfish, but very egotistical type of thinking. But I've got to do what I can to maximize my photos being seen by other people and hopefully get more work from people, other cosplayers. And yeah, that's how my brain thinks about locations within in an area. So I think we've already half covered this question, especially Libra, but hopefully she might expand on it. But Chapman, for you, how important is that location to get that big broad area? Or like I said, some people might do a cutout background and all that. Is it important to you to try to maximize and take advantage of the location you're in?
Oh yeah, definitely. I always do that. Like, I'm sorry to all the cosplayers that's worked with me, but the amount of times I've asked them to like trek a little bit further just to get that great photo is uncountable. Like that that little bit of hard work extra makes so much difference in my opinion, because it makes it stand out. It makes it feel more in character. It makes it feel more realistic.
Yeah. No, I totally get that, and I really do. Can I just ask a question then? Because it just popped into my head. Have you started using? I'm assuming you're a Photoshop user. Have you started
Hmm.
using generative AI for any of your photos?
Yes.
Ah, so the next question from that would be then, why put all that extra effort when you can ask generative AI to instead do the hard work for you?
Generative AI is the thing that removes stuff, right?
Yes, well, it could generative AI. So content. So there's content aware where if you ask Photoshop to remove something, content aware will analyze the surrounding areas and try to piece together the piece, the
Yeah,
patched
but it
area.
doesn't always work.
Doesn't always work. So generative AI in that sense would be where you can ask it to replace either the patched area or maybe put something else instead. You can really specify things, such as like put a building here, put a moon in the sky, birds here, things like that, and it will generate, and it can be random. And I've had experience in this, very random about these type of things. So anyway, Chapman, carry on.
So I use it to the extent that I ask it to remove stuff that content aware doesn't remove,
Mm,
or sometimes like content aware destroys.
yeah.
Um, so I am very on location, minimal editing kind of person.
Mm,
But there are cases where when you take a photo and you miss something and you can't fix it. So like, there's just happens to be some rubbish on the floor that
mm,
you can't, and the cosplayer is stepping on it, or it just like covers part of their cosplay without
yeah.
realizing it, and content aware just doesn't fix it. So I use the generative AI to just fix it a bit.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. So you've never done anything about like whole background or partial background, not say removal, but replacement.
No,
Oh, okay, that's
no.
interesting. So Libra, I'll bring you into this in a minute, get your view about generative AI in this sense. But I've used generative AI with some photos, not all, but some photos, handful of photos. I'm really now trying to cover myself now. Um, to to partially change or the whole background of certain photos. So to give an example, there's one cosplayer who I'm gonna get their name now because it would be very irresponsible not to name them fully. So please hold callers. I know they've tagged in a photo recently because he says that. I lied. Oh, is it here? I'm going with the word pigeon. Ah, yes, pigeon. Right, here we go. Exhausted pigeon cosplay, and they were in a Daisy. Is it Daisy? The yellow one, Daisy
Yeah, Daisy.
Princess. Thank you. They were in the Daisy outfit, and I took them in an area which I thought this will look good for get a bit of texture, texture and depth and things like that. But deep down, I want to do a little bit better. I want to do something special. And there was a bit where she's like running across my camera, pointing at something. There's a scene, a pose that I saw online. The background was the yacht, and there's people in the background going, "Ugh, it's horrible. It's not good. It's not great." I could spend all day trying to eliminate all those people out and get the boat in the background. And I thought, I wonder. So I selected the people, the boat in the background, kept the sky thing, and just said, put a castle in the background. And it did. It put a castle in the background. I know that castle's not real. It could be someone else's work that's in my photo as well. I know there's a huge debate about the use of generative AI and copyright and things like that. But for the time being, that for me, that tool is there for me to aid me to build up to extend my photo and things like that. You can tell it's generative AI. There's no way that was you know that's taken at Excel and know that was generative AI. I'm not trying to hide that fact. In fact, when I post my photos, when I remember, especially if it's dead obvious, because I might have used generative AI on a very small part and just missed it when I come to upload it. But that photo, when I put it online, I will say generative AI was used on this photo. It's things like that. Which is, like I said, social media is starting to like tag, or you can self tag to say AI was used on this photo. Anyway, what do you think, Chapman? I'll get your point of view first. The way I've just described it, do you think, oh, that's interesting, or oh no, I try to keep it as on location as possible?
Well, for me, I keep it on location as possible.
Mm.
That's just my style. If
Mm.
people want to use it, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm.
But just don't. When you do use it, just say you're using it. Don't
Mm.
say, "Oh, I did all this myself."
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
like the amount of times I've seen or I've heard people say, "Oh, I did all of this by myself." When you just, let's be honest, you used AI.
Yeah.
That annoys me. But yeah, if you want to use it, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. Just don't kind of like claim
Yeah.
what it's not.
Oh no, I agree with you. Like I said, I'm happy to say I've used generative AI, and if I have used it and forgot to mention it, not because I'm trying to hide it. Generally, I might have forgotten. So that's all. Things like that. Libra, you've just heard us talk about us using generative AI and all that. Would you be happy if someone took you to a location, took the photo, and then either partially or fully, and we're just talking about the background, not about you, just the background. They use a bit of generative AI to, let's say, enhance the photo.
I wouldn't have a problem with it as long as it's suited what they like the cosplay. I wouldn't mind doing it, like, and them using it. But it's when there's so much changed of it, you're just like, no, that's too far. Like there is a step too far.
Yeah.
But I don't mind people using it if it's like gonna make the cosplay look a lot better and make the photo just look even better than what a location would do if needed.
Yeah. And like I said, it's only for me. I'll only do it on one or two photos per set. I wouldn't want to use the whole set to me, because the way that generative AI works, even if you use the same terminology again and again and again, it's random. It just randomizes the output each time. So you will never get the same look, style, and theme all the time. Make it be very similar, but you wouldn't get the exact same look. And I don't know why it does that. It's probably I don't know, actually. I really don't know, and I would love to get an answer to that one of these days. But I don't run generative AI. I'm not Adobe or things like that. So yeah. Libra, I'm gonna continue with you. So you say, oh, I scout the area. If I see a photographer that's taken, it's just standing in one spot, I walk away. Have you ever told a photographer like your input about a location at a Comic-Con event? Do you go to them and say, "Oh, can we actually go here instead?" Or maybe they say, "Oh, can we shoot in this location, which you may have already shot before?" Do you Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel like you have to cave into their demands, or do you say, "Can I offer you a different suggestion?" That type of thing.
So I'll do like their location, and then I'll be like, "Oh, is it possible to try this location?" And some of them are really good, and they'll move and try it in a different location. Some people just don't, and I'm like, I understand that MCM is really packed, and if you can get the trees, you're not going to move. But I feel like sometimes having to move for a cosplay to work better, I would prefer it. I have had cosplay like photographers go, "I'm not moving. It's either you have your photos here or that's it." And I'm like, "Well, see you later then." Like you asked me for photos and you're demanding where I stand, and I'm like, I know my cosplay and character better than you do. At least let me have some input, because my input might make your photo look better.
Yeah.
It might not, but it's like it's a two-way thing. It's like if I try your way, then just try my way as well, and then sometimes you can mash both together, and some of the photos come out amazing.
Yeah.
But that's my real take on it, really.
No, that's that's good. How often do you tell then a photographer that I have an idea and they refuse?
Not very often. It's just the ones that you're just like the rotate grey walls, like they won't move from that grey wall because then they'll lose it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to move there because I want to lose my spot on the grey wall," and I'm just like, "Okay, see you later."
Yeah.
Right.
But doesn't happen often.
No.
Okay. Because I'm assuming if you see them at the grey walls, you wouldn't even approach them in the first place.
Some photographers I do because I know they'll move, but there's some that go, "Oh yeah, I really like your photo," and I'm like,
yeah,
"Do not put me against a grey wall." And they go, "Oh, let's do the grey wall," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm not." Like it.
yeah.
Like, are you gonna help change? Are you gonna change the background to make the character look better? No, I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm like, please no.
No, that's great. Yeah, I do love the
Which
idea
kind
that
of sounds quite snobby, but it's like cosplayers work 6 months to a year on a cosplay
Yeah.
that they know really well, and they know their poses and all this, and they just want the photo to represent their character as best they can. And a grey wall's not going to do that.
No, absolutely. I'll come back to you in a sec, but Chapman, have you had people suggest to you a location that you gone, "Oh, I didn't think about that," or are you very strict about, "No, I've got a vision, I need to stick to"?
No, I'm very collaborative with it, so I'm happy with whatever. One of the funniest things was at an event. Me and a cosplayer were discussing locations. There was this really great location that we wanted to shoot on, which was a listed church. So it's very old, almost derelict. We got permission to shoot eventually, but before that, during our investigations, we did kind of like jump a few fences that we shouldn't. But this was like all of their idea that initiated it. So yeah, I always listen, and we just find like the best places sometimes from it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I really do. Yeah, I'm just trying to think for myself how often I get asked to. I don't think anyone. Again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I don't think anyone questions where I take them for photos, because again, I feel like I try to find for every cosplayer, regardless if I shoot with 10 cosplayers, 20 cosplayers, 30 cosplayers, even 100 over a weekend. God, I hope it's never 100 or close to 100. I would actually die. But that I find a unique look, a location for everyone, so that everyone doesn't get. So again, I don't want so to take Libra's point of view. I don't want people to think, oh, Eddie seems to shoot in this one location all the time, type of thing. I try. I don't double up too often or triple up too often. So there was one time. I don't know if they've gone back on this now, but what the Sunborn, the yacht. At one point, they allowed everyone to shoot on the boat, and I went, "Oh, that's quite cool." And I've had 2 or 3 people say, "Oh, can we shoot on the boat?" And my reply has been, "I've already shot one person already on the boat this Comic Con. Can we shoot somewhere else?" And the cosplayers have actually gone, "Oh no, totally understand. That's fine." And it's quite nice to hear cosplayers not fight me on that type of point, because they probably understand my vision of say, I don't want all my photos to be exactly the same and things like that. Yeah, I find it quite interesting about that. And again, I think we've. Did I answer this question? I don't know if I've asked this question, but I'll start with Chapman maybe. Oh no, wait, there was something I was going to ask Libra. Damn it! Now it's flown out my head. If it comes back, I'll ask it later. But Chapman, for you, is that how important it is when it comes to photos, getting that location right for you? How important it is for you at a Comic Con?
I would say that is 90%. The reason being it just stands it out from the rest. Because if I don't find a way to stand out, there's no different from like everyone else who takes the same photos, which I don't get. Kind of like, essentially for me, if I don't feel like I could find something to make it stand out when I take the photos, I feel like it's just another generic photo, which almost every other photographer might have taken. And then my point is, oh, would a cosplayer actually want to see that then? It's like, oh, that's the nth one of the same generic background. We know it's Comic Con, we know it's at MCM, we know it's the same cosplay kind of thing.
No,
Like,
I get you. Yeah, I
yeah.
totally get you and things like that. Libra, what about you? Do you think your level of the location is important as high as us photographers, or Chapman's 90, or little less?
I'd say it's about 90 to 95%. Because location is important, and it was just if it's a generic photo, people won't post it.
Oh, really?
Because they'll have other photographers give them the same photo back. I worked with a few photographers for May, and I went same photo, not posting that one because it's all the same shit. And I'm like, there's no creative input.
I tell you something. Is it wasn't it?
Yes.
The Una cosplay I had after I shot with you and that location. So where we shot, where the bridge is,
Yeah.
a little off the bridge, down that walkway towards from the west entrance to the east entrance, but down the dock end. For some reason, that got redecorated. I went, oh, this is like a new location for me to shoot at. When I took you to that location and started shooting, back in my mind, I'm going, oh, I don't know if this will work now. I don't know if this is a good location, if this will work. And back in my mind, I'm going, I don't think she's going to use these photos. I don't think she's going to like it. And then when you showed me, or when I saw a photo from Johnny Sham, took a photo of you, I went, fuck me, no, shit, my photos are crap. I just went, no!
I think I posted on TikTok, and I was like, they're not going to do anything. And then they got 3,500 views, and I was like, hang on a fucking minute. Did we get it right? I haven't posted on my Instagram yet, but I'm like, did we actually get the photos right?
Oh,
because
right. What, my photos?
I haven't posted yours yet. I'm planning to.
Oh, you mean Johnny's one? Okay,
yeah, Johnny's ones. And I went, okay, so we may have got it right because it
was done in the car park, wasn't it?
No, it was done by the cranes.
That's it. Yes, cranes
Behind the Novotel and the Ibis. And also, what also helped was that it was incredibly windy. So the sleeves just floated, and there was I didn't have to force the sleeves to do what it wanted. They just did what they wanted, which I think may give it a little bit more of a animation. Because I was like, the one where I have the stuff right at the back, so it's when she does her summoning out dance, it's she has it go around the back. But I was more scared to drop the staff, considering I had made it.
Yeah.
So I held it, and then obviously we just did the twirl. And when it came out, Johnny was like, "I don't know if we're gonna fix, like, if it's gonna work." I said, "We'll do it again, and I'll do a full twirl of me just holding it."
Yeah.
But that wind was so strong, and
Yes.
the photo that I posted was, oh, you know what? It was the one I picked.
Yeah.
Because Johnny was like, "I don't know which one to pick," and I went, "It's the third one," because it just fitted.
Yeah.
And
No,
normally I don't ever do that and go, "That's the photo."
Yeah.
I've never done that yet.
No, that's good. No, that's fine. But honestly, I generally I would not be offended if you didn't share the photos I sent to you.
We'll just come down to Bournemouth and we'll just do it down Bournemouth Beach.
Oh yeah, we'll just do that. Yeah.
Because obviously when she does her summoning dance, she's on water.
Yeah.
So
Oh yes, yes.
so
Yes.
we could, that's another way to do it, is the location of like on the beach.
Oh no, you've just given me an idea.
Have
I need.
I?
Is the idea going to Birmingham Comic Con and just jumping in the
Oh
water?
God, no! Fuck that! No, no, no! Because everyone does that. I was gonna say we need a chair that we can put into the water, so that it's just level with the water, and she stands on top of it. That was the idea.
I mean, I can do that.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming you can't levitate, so we'll have to do that.
No.
Anyway, we're going off. We're going off course. Anyway.
Next year, problem solved. There we go, Eddie. When it
We'll
gets
have to
warm
do that.
again.
Yeah, definitely when it's warm. Yeah. What was the question? How important is location for me? I generally think it is a high percentage in my head. I think it has to be 95. I wouldn't say 100 because there's other factors. Oh no, is it? There possibly other factors as well, but I do think I've always put a crown over the Excel Centre as the best location in the UK to get photos at a Comic Con. I've been to NEC, I've been to Glasgow's SEC. Forgive me if I said that wrong. Where else have I been?
Manchester,
Manchester, Coventry, and Coventry's not
Telford.
Telford, yeah. But
Yeah.
Coventry's not too bad actually. But I was only there for one day and things like that. Anyway, and that's my home university. Anyway, the reason why I put crown over the I champion. That's the word I was looking for. Because I champion the Excel Centre is a great place. I really do think you get a really nice varied location throughout the whole of the venue. I plan. So, those who don't know, because I'm sure I mentioned this on podcast, I'm not going to MCM this October. I might turn up one day, but I might just do self videos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take videos of places I've taken photos to say, hey, other cosplayers and photographers, you can shoot here. You can let's get this look and things like that. Anyway, that's just an idea in my head. But for me, I can get so many different looks. I can take photos in front of the glass pyramid to get a very futuristic or scientific type of. And I did a Dr. Olivia Octavius from the Spider-Verse films, cosplayer there. That seemed to work really well for that one. What else? There's a star. I don't want to sound like I piss in this area, that this is my area, but if you at the Fox pub, if you turn right from the entrance, one of those there's a stairwell that you can use to shoot. I used to shoot in, which can be good for Critical Role type of things, or D&D role. Critical Role D&D, I'll say, but fantasy type of thing and all that. That seems to work. A little further down, there's some stairs. I like to see people sat down on that and things like that. Just give you different textures, different lines, and all that. That's what I'm saying. This is how my brain works, and I honestly, I just think I get so much variation, and I can't get bored about where to shoot, because for me, I can shoot so many different players. Like I did so keep going right down to the other end of the Fox area. There's these big blue warehouse doors. I shot a Willy Wonka down there, because in my mind it was factory. That's why I need to shoot Willy Wonka. Is Willy Wonka? Yeah. For some reason my brain went, his name's not Willy Wonka, because I kept seeing Willy and it said, oh, that's a bit of a childish name. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, but yes, in my mind it's all that. So yeah.
I'm surprised you crowned the XL. I would crown the NEC area.
See, someone else says that, and the only thing I can say that beats it is that lake
And the forest bit as well.
All right, and the
That's
forest.
the point. The forest
Yeah.
bit, and if you had good repertoire with the Hilton, you could have used their pool.
But the only thing I would say is that and this goes back to the walking part. Any whichever events they're either MegaCon Live or MCM, it's not always in the same place and always easy accessible to walk to those areas. So that's why if I knew any MCM was in the same it was in the same halls year after year, maybe I'd change my mind. But for me, that flip flops. Okay. A good place to shoot photos, which I've done before, is that Travelator in the Skywalk area. But again, me sharing all these places, I can just imagine everyone now starts hurtling to these areas and things like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's the reason why I crown the XL, because I know it'll never move. I will always get the same. I can get to the places quite quickly, quite easily, and things like that. Whereas the NEC, I feel that I have to stay within the vicinity of the Comic Con, and if I'm on the other end of the NEC, I'm not saying I'm screwed, but I've got to think differently. That's all. That's it. We've spoken a lot about the Comic Con side of things. I want to briefly talk about location shoots, and I want to ask Libra this question because this half ties in with the shoot we're going to do later this month. But Libra,
Yeah.
when it comes to location shoots outside of Comic Con, do you rely on if you're like contacting a photographer? Do you rely on the photographer to give you the location? Say, I'm about to shoot this cosplay. Do you have a location? Or because you're contacting the photographer, do you think you are obligated to find that location yourself?
I kind of do a bit of 50-50.
Mm.
Because, like, obviously, if you've played the video game, you can be like, okay, I know that I need, say, like, for the Wall Street for Final Fantasy 7, the closest thing we're going to get in London is Chinatown.
Mm.
And I'm like, here's a good idea. And I can say to the photographer, goes, can you think of anywhere better?
Mm.
And then kind of do a collab between, like, both.
Mm.
Because, like, sometimes the photographer's never, ever even heard of the cosplay
Mm.
or the character. And they're like, I don't know who this is. You're going to have to help me find the location. Which I will do, but then I feel like they're just turning up. And it's not really a collab.
Yeah.
Because I prefer it to be more like a 50-50 collab. Like, you get photos, I get photos, we both
Yeah.
have a good time. And we enjoy it. It's like we're doing with Rinny in her hotel because her hotel's really fancy, which suits her dress better than mine because she's got Eris red dress.
Yeah.
And it's like it would suit Chinatown, but it suits Tifa's a little bit better.
Yeah.
So and I know she won't walk through London in that dress. So it's like I compromise for Rinny because obviously it's a collab between me and Rennie, which then you've obviously joined because Rennie didn't know any photographers in London.
Yeah.
And then brought you on and said, is this, like, Rennie's giving you the locations and you said, is it okay? And you were like, yeah, this looks like a really good idea. So I like the collab between both and then go, actually, once we're done here, we can go here instead of you find it or the photographer finds it and you turn up and you go, no, that doesn't suit it.
I think I know where you're coming from. I think in my mind, and Chapman, I'll come to you afterwards because you might disagree with what I'm about to say. It's up to the cosplayer to if someone a cosplayer asks me to take their photo at a location out and about, I think it's up to the cosplayer to tell me I've got this cosplay, I want to be here. Because part of me is also thinking, at least at the Excel, it's a very contained area. I can go here, go there, I can help them think for them as well. Especially if like I was saying earlier, if you've already done this cosplay, shot this cosplay at this location, I can think of another location. Whereas if you're asking me to travel around London and UK, that is a vast network of places I will not know where's a good place to shoot. That's why, in my mind, if the cosplayer asks me to shoot them at a location shoot, I do think it's their responsibility to find the correct location for their cosplay, and then I will bring their vision to life. Chapman, what I've just said, do you agree with me?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like, if just to emphasize, like, if I'm coming to a cosplayer with a vision, of course I'm going to do the research because it's my vision. But if it's a cosplayer's vision that we're trying to take and photograph for them, I would expect them to have more input on location.
Yeah. I mean,
But there are cases where I feel that it is inappropriate in the terms of location, and then I will suggest something else completely.
yeah, no, that's right. I think for me, like I just said, if I'm traveling to a new location I've never been to, as much as I just said at a Comic-Con, I will scout the area. We both say we'll scout the area and things like that. I think if I'm in a new location, such as let's say I go to Leeds, I've never been to Leeds. I wouldn't know where the best places to shoot, and it just wouldn't be good use of my time. That if you are local to the area and you know where the places to shoot, you should take them there. Libra, we're going to shoot your Tifa cosplay. You said you want to go Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
I know Chinatown. I can think of a few places where we can be secluded from the public. How safe it is, I don't know, so we'll have to just judge it at the time. But
Yep.
at least in my head, I can think of some places where we can both mutually go, yes, this is a good place. Oh, this looks dodgy, especially in the dark. Let's not shoot here, type of thing. So yeah, that's good, cool. And let's flip the question again. If I've come up with the idea, I was just saying an idea. We were just saying this off the air to Chapman. I was just saying I've got this idea. I want to do a shoot, and I feel like it's my responsibility to then, if I ask the cosplayers, hey, I've got this idea for a shoot, you come to me. I've got to find the location. So it's definitely like you said. I think for Comic-Con, I don't know. I think it is up to the photographer to find that location more. But location shoot, it can be 50-50 depending on which way. Well, obviously it's 50-50, it's both ways. But you know what I'm saying? Depending on which way, who's organising it, I think it's that person's responsibility to find it. I don't know. I might be just talking straight out my ass and things like that. But I have done shoots where I've just gone for a walkabout in the town. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I did one shoot, which I'm not going to mention their names because I'm no longer talking to them. They have upset me, and they're in my they're being blacklisted. But I remember during the shoot, we were just like walking around looking for places to shoot, and we got some really nice photos of that cosplay. It's a shame I will never use them because I blacklisted them. So, yeah. Oh wow, that's brought some emotions there. But yeah. Anyway, come on, someone else talk. I need someone else to talk.
I just want to listen to you sit in awkwardness.
I know. I just.
Same.
I can't. I really can't sit in
I'm trying to
silence.
think now who the cosplayer is that you've blacklisted. I'm trying to
I'll
think.
tell you off. I'll tell you off the air. Don't you worry.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Don't you worry.
Is it the one that filtered your photos?
I think you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. But we'll talk afterwards. Anyway, we'll talk afterwards.
I think like if you've got a group shoot, like I think the cosplayers definitely need to have more of an input.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh
because
god.
like obviously I've got like a Warrior of Light group that we're doing next year, and it's like we're brainstorming ideas at the moment of like what to do, and obviously we were like we want it to be like they're in like a field obviously or a forest where they're actually doing an adventure, and then have like a night shoot where they're like in a tent, but it's trying to get it to look fantasy enough for that night shoot to make it look realistic.
Yeah.
Because obviously tents these days are just naff.
Yes.
But obviously like that I would definitely be like cosplayers definitely need more of an input.
No, absolutely.
And that's like a lot of walking and trekking, and obviously the poor photographer's got to carry the whole entire of his kit.
Oh god, don't get me started. I've had to buy more equipment recently, and I might talk about it in the podcast extra if we are doing a podcast extra after this. But yeah, all right. I think we're getting close to the end, and I just want to get some advice from you, both of you, about locations from a cosplay's point of view, both either Comic-Con or location or both. What would you give to a fellow photographer and cosplayer? I'll give you time to think about it, Libra. Chapman, what advice would you give to a fellow photographer about location?
I would say, how safe is your equipment? How safe are you in general at that location is the first key factor.
Oh, okay.
Then second is, how much of an impact does that add to your work?
Mm.
Like, if it's a cool location but it doesn't give the impact you want, like positive
Yeah.
impact,
Yeah.
not just any impact, like it needs to be emphasizing your work or relevancy to that work.
Mm. I think it's a
These
really
are
it's a good tip.
these are the key things I would say.
Mm.
But yeah, safety first. Always safety first.
Yeah.
Don't do what I did. You remember how I was like, if I fall in the river, catch it because I want to get that shot. You remember that, right?
No.
There was a time where, do you know the riverside, like outside behind the Ibis?
No.
I so do you know the Novotel, the Ibis Hotel, and the
Yeah.
XL?
Yeah.
Like behind it is like the riverside.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to lean underneath and over through the chains over the water for the shot.
Oh, there. Oh, that's. Oh my God, no.
Yeah, you remember. And then there was like times I was telling, you were there. I remember once. There were
Really?
other photographers before where I've done shots like this. I was like, if I fall, catch my camera.
Yeah, to be fair, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'll have to tell the incident that happened to me at VeeCon, and we'll go from there. No, that's some good advice. I'll give Libra some more time to think. I think for me at a Comic-Con, don't be too comfortable in the spaces that you know or shoot regularly. Always think, can I do more? Can I use more? Can I find new places? I think the moment you start getting comfortable in a location that you use time and time again, you're not improving yourself. You're stuck in a moment in time. The moment the times that you keep changing your location, changing your ideas, it's for me, it's an improvement of your photography skills. That's what I say. Same with location shoot. Don't be afraid to like walk around the area. You don't have to be in that one location, regardless who suggests it. Feel free to go. All right, we've done some photos here. Let's go elsewhere, type of thing. We can always, again, you want to get that different texture, some depth of field, different locations, that type of thing. So yeah,
Yeah, I
Libra.
would
Yeah,
also,
go on.
sorry, just to add on to what you just said,
Mm.
I would also add on the tagline of don't be afraid to experiment.
Mm.
Because like
Yeah.
that's what it all is. Like cosplay photography was for experimentation.
Yes.
Like all the things that are considered the norm now
Yeah.
weren't thought of preemptively or wasn't decided by some people
Yeah.
ages ago,
Oh
as
yeah.
some people like to believe it.
Yeah.
It was an experiment.
Mm. No, absolutely, absolutely. Libra, what about yourself? Any tips you would give to fellow cosplayers about locations, both at either a Comic Con location or both?
I would say for like location shoots, safety is like paramount. If it says this building will fall apart, do not go in it. Like I know people that have gone into like a building and I've gone, yeah, that looks really dangerous, and you've just seen like concrete just fall straight down, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going in there. Like even the elements, like if you go, I'm gonna go do a photo shoot in a field, just remember the elements and not your friend, because it could be sunny one minute and then it could be pissing it down the next, and it's like, do you have the like, are you prepared for that? And if not, just be really careful with it. And experiment with locations. Like if it, feel free to like, if a photographer says, let's try this location, don't always be so, like closed mind. Like I know some new cosplayers are like, I'm not doing that. Be open. It might bring a better photo. experiment. Like, it might even be like the pose of like where you are in the location might change the whole entire look. Like, be free to experiment to the point where you're comfortable and the photographer's comfortable.
Yes. No, that's good. Some good advice there. Some good advice. Cool. What do I do at the end of the podcast? It's been so long I've done a podcast. Libra, let's end the podcast and we'll do our links and things like that. Libra, where can they find you on the social medias? Should they want to like take you out for a photo here, there, and everywhere?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Librally7, on Twitch Librally7, on TikTok Librally7 as well.
That's good. Chapman, where can they find you on the social medias?
You could find me on Instagram as LPC Photography. Same with TikTok. Or chapmanlee.co.uk. I am a QA specialist and a photographer, so feel free to ask me about both if you need. Yeah.
Cool. If anyone needs to find me on the social medias, if you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, you'll find all my social media links. If you go to foodandcosplay.org generally, daily cosplay photos. I keep saying this, and I do mean it. I will get back into the article writing as I can find time to think of something to write about and things like that.
We can do a dim sum experience.
Yes, okay, we'll do a dim sum experience. Yes, still not paying. Still
That's
not
fine.
Good. Okay. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, you'll find previous recorded podcasts with these two and other guests with other subjects. And if you go to patreon.com/foodandcosplay, you'll hear a previous recorded podcast extras that I've done with other guests. I'm hoping to do one for this one. I haven't quite discussed it with my guests. If we do agree, we'll see you there. If not, I'm gonna thank my guests for being on this podcast, on this episode. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sharing your views on locations and ideas about it. Especially, we didn't really talk about safety, which we should have done first, but good thing we've got it towards the end. So thank you very much for.
Don't drown.
Don't drown. Yes, don't drown. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and they're going to say goodbye. So bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Get any Yorkshire puddings.
No.
All the Yorkshire puddings.
No.
Yep.